Walmart is warning shoppers to expect higher prices starting in June. The company says tariffs on Chinese imports are driving up cost on items like groceries and school supplies. Walmart plans to keep prices as low as possible, but expects more markups than usual this summer.
Today, President Donald Trump told Walmart to, quote, eat the cost of rising tariffs so they can keep prices low for consumers. Walmart announced Thursday they would begin passing on rising costs to shoppers at the end of this month.
Sometimes the country will eat it, sometimes Walmart will eat it, and sometimes there'll be something to be paid.
It just happened. Walmart, the largest retailer in the United States, made a sudden and silent decision that is now setting off alarms across Washington. Without warning, the company dropped a series of Trump-backed consumer brands from its shelves. The move wasn't announced, it wasn't leaked, it was executed quietly, swiftly. And now, the White House is in full-blown crisis mode. According to multiple retail analysts and insiders from Bentonville, Arkansas, Walmart has begun pulling contracts and shelf space from at least 8 companies with close ties to Trump's political network, including brands that flourished during the 2016 and 2020 MAGA boom. This isn't just about politics, it's about power, about influence, about a retail empire making a statement without ever saying a word. And make no mistake, people are noticing. Already, conservative influencers on X and Truth Social are calling for boycotts. Lawmakers are demanding answers. And inside DC, panic is spreading like wildfire. But the most explosive part, Walmart's internal memo, which we've seen, doesn't mention Trump by name. Instead, it uses phrases like brand volatility, unacceptable reputational risk, and non-aligning public narratives. Translation? These brands are too controversial to stock. And that begs the question, is this the start of a corporate purge of Trump-aligned businesses, or just the first move in something far bigger? Because underneath the headlines, there's something deeper at play. And it started months ago. Let's rewind. In early 2025, President Trump issued a series of executive orders aimed at strengthening US manufacturing and prioritizing patriotic businesses. It was a signature MAGA moment, with a wave of Trump-endorsed products hitting store shelves nationwide. Everything from home goods to snack brands, sporting apparel to energy drinks. For a while, it worked. Sales surged in conservative regions. Companies marketed themselves as pro-American, pro-Trump, and anti-woke. Trump himself promoted some of them directly on campaign stops. But then, the backlash began. Quiet at first, then loud. Progressive watchdog groups launched boycotts. Online activists tracked these companies' donations. A viral TikTok trend labeled certain products with funds fascism stickers. Retailers began feeling the heat. And Walmart, long criticized for sitting on the sidelines of political controversy, began calculating the risks. According to 2 executives familiar with the decision, internal data showed that Trump-backed products performed strongly in red states. But in blue and swing state regions, they tanked. Some brands suffered double-digit losses in urban markets. And Walmart's brand perception? It was taking hits in key demographics, especially suburban women under 40, a group it has fought hard to retain. That data set off alarms in the C-suite, and now we're seeing the fallout. Shelf space is being reallocated, contracts are being terminated, distribution deals are vanishing overnight, and most telling of all, vendors are being told their product barcodes are no longer active in system. That's corporate speak for "you're gone." Among the brands dropped are a line of energy supplements backed by a former Trump trade advisor, a patriotic-themed clothing company that made headlines for anti-trans marketing, and a frozen food startup endorsed by Trump's own son during a recent campaign rally. Gone. All of them. And the message is clear. Walmart is making moves. What's less clear is how the Trump team plans to respond. Already, insiders say President Trump is fuming. In private calls, he's referred to Walmart's move as economic treason, and accused the company of kneeling to the radical left. His team is reportedly preparing a legal threat, though on what grounds remains unclear. In public, he's been quieter, but not silent, on Truth. Social, he wrote this morning, Walmart is making a big mistake. Great American brands being cancelled. The people see it, they know what's happening, and they won't forget. That post alone racked up nearly 4 million views in 2 hours. But the real pressure isn't coming from Trump's base. It's coming from Capitol Hill. A coalition of Republican lawmakers is already calling for a congressional hearing into Walmart's decision-making process. They want access to the company's internal data, emails, and vendor memos. The House Committee on Oversight is reportedly drafting subpoenas. Walmart has yet to respond. Meanwhile, conservative media outlets have begun running segments with alarming headlines. Walmart bans America, one reads. Trump brands cancelled overnight, says another. But inside Walmart HQ, the messaging is different. A spokesperson told us, our brand decisions are based solely on market data, consumer demand, and our commitment to serving all Americans. We do not make political decisions. We make retail decisions. That may be true, but perception is everything. And right now, the perception is that Walmart just picked a side, and the consequences are mounting. In just 24 hours, Walmart's stock slipped 2.7%. That's over $8 billion in market cap, gone in a single trading session. Retail analysts warn it could slide further if the backlash intensifies. Even more troubling, calls for boycotts are going viral. The hashtag #BoycottWalmart hit 250,000 posts on X within hours. Meanwhile, Trump-aligned business groups are urging vendors to pull their products voluntarily before being dropped. Some are already organizing alternative supply chains with regional retailers in the South and Midwest. And here's where it gets even more chaotic. According to internal forecasting memos, Walmart now anticipates a 7% sales dip in certain states, including Texas, Florida, and Missouri. They're reportedly rushing to reposition neutral brands and increase local community engagement in affected regions. In other words, damage control has already begun. But the question remains, why now? Sources close to the board say this wasn't just about political pressure or market data. It was about a looming deal, one that's been rumored, whispered about, but never confirmed publicly, until now. Because behind the scenes, Walmart is preparing for a massive expansion into European and Asian e-commerce markets. And here's the twist. Multiple international regulators have raised concerns about Walmart's brand neutrality and political entanglements. That's right. The Trump-backed brands may have been more than just a domestic risk. They were becoming a global liability. And in the world of international business, perception isn't just important, it's everything. Dropping controversial vendors may have been less about American politics and more about securing regulatory approval overseas. Quiet, calculated, cold. Which brings us full circle. Walmart didn't make this move out of emotion. They made it out of self-preservation. But in doing so, they triggered a political firestorm that may burn hotter than they expected. Trump has promised a full response. His allies in Congress are mobilizing. Social media is ablaze. And for the first time in years, Walmart finds itself at the center of a national political war, one it tried to avoid for decades. And just when you think it couldn't get more intense, we've obtained early reports that another major national retailer is preparing to follow Walmart's lead. We can't name them yet, but trust us, when it happens, the shock will be even bigger. So what does this all mean? It means the line between business and politics just blurred even further. It means retail giants are no longer neutral ground. And it means the Trump economy, once booming with patriotic branding and mega merchandise, is now facing its biggest test yet. Because when the shelves go empty, when the contracts vanish, when the barcodes go dark. Influence means nothing. Only power does. And right now, that power is shifting from politicians to corporations, from populism to pragmatism.